the inspiration catalyst. So, a bit of a difference now is, the charges need to be earned, but they are earned account-wide, right? Now, there was initially a little bit of consternation and worry on this because you earned it by partaking in group activities. People were worried that this would end up being a big old chore. But no, they've said, when the catalyst becomes available in Season 1, there will not be a new currency. Instead, there will be a weekly quest that simply requires doing the same sorts of group content that would provide you with catalyst-eligible gear in the first place. All characters in your WoW account can contribute progress towards completing the quest. Doing it gives 1 charge to all current and future characters, and each of your characters spend their charges individually. So, essentially, if you do the content you'd be doing anyway, it seems you'll get your charge. Obviously, though, what will matter is how they actually balance this. We want a situation where you earn your charge by doing the content that you want to do. Yeah. We don't want a situation where it's the end of the week and you're going to just go and do like 6 mythic zeros to get a charge. That would be silly. I suppose right now we just have to trust that they'll get the balance right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the weird thing, right? Where if you're going to do mythic zeros because they're more efficient, then you probably weren't going to do mythic pluses anyway. So you're kind of getting this weird spot of, yeah, they should balance it, but also if you're going to miss out on it, then you're going to miss out on it anyway. There's something weird with how that ultimately feels. Now, I will say I'm personally disappointed because whenever I saw group activities, I thought, is this going to be defending the soup? Do you go defend the soup to get inspired to have this catalyst work for you? Do some actual like kind of world stuff?
But that would make it a chore.
That would make it a chore, which is annoying because it would also, that's the problem you run into. That would make it a chore, but it also incentivize it. So it would be kind of, people would maybe, especially if it takes like a few minutes, people go and have fun. But then people would do it for no reason, for extrinsic reasons. You go, making video games hard. Sorry, making players do content hard.
Yeah.
I think that's the real answer.
Chromie time is fun, but the transmog's probably not sexy enough for loads of people to do it. Even though Chromie time is worth it, or not Chromie time, the Deaths of Chromie, even though it is well designed and fun enough to be worth doing just as a piece of content, because doing it's fun, like not doing it for the, little reward at the end. But anyway, speaking of the reward at the end, we do have something very cool. So the way you've got the armor sets in WoW, right? And they will have a different tint for every difficulty level, and then the mythic version will have additional bells and whistles. Well, they have a new achievement that basically unlocks those additional bells and whistles for every single tint of a tier set, which is pretty cool, right? You may not have known this, but like the Raid Finder normal and heroic and regular PvP gear sets, the artists have actually made all the bells and whistles for those. They're just not available in the game because Blizzard wanted to reserve that for Mythic. So, and to be honest, I do kind of disagree with that because it didn't used to be like that. It used to be the, at the time, what was called heroic mode, which would be analogous to Mythic today. It would just have the more edgy, basically, have the more edgy tint, right? Like the more kind of badass tint. But the actual, if you were, say, raiding heroic, you wouldn't feel like you were getting the sort of shitty GIMP version of the true set. So I still do have a bit of criticism there, I think, because I'm trying to work out how to make running for all the players. But to talk about this thing that is good, basically, with this achievement, you will have to do one of these things. Mythic Razageth, which is the final boss. Keystone Hero Season 1, which is all plus 20s timed. Elite Season 1, which is a 2400 plus rating. And if you do that, you will fully unlock the additional cosmetic effects for every version of the set.
Yeah, which in effect what this does is it means that the two things that are locked behind Mythic now are the highest end of version of the gear in terms of the color and also the effects. Mm-hmm. Which what this kind of means is for players who want to have that, then they also get to, basically they get to have the lower colorations also look really cool if they choose to do that. And it also kind of works as a, I guess is more of a, hey, you want to get all the, say the tier set and it's heroic, and then you just go do all your plus 20s to unlock it as opposed to having the mythic raid. So that's a bit of an upgrade, but I think you're right in terms of this is for mythic players specifically and trying to incentivize that kind of gameplay, which is, especially, I would have said plus 20s are pretty easy. Not easy, harder but now. Like but they are harder now, so we have to see how that actually feels. I think I don't know if people are doing them handy enough on M+, because I've not tracked any of the M+ like
You mean
players in
beta and plus?
Yeah, the beta and plus.
Well,
have
you
not
got to
tried
remember healing was too powerful.
Oh yeah, they've just completely changed that as well.
Yeah, and I don't know how much they've changed the damage profile there.
It's just I think across the board it's just 40% more health.
Sorry, I
damage.
mean I don't mean I mean profile as in like level of burstiness. Because the only way that you can chat this basically goes back to the disc priest healing problems of patch 5.4, which we'll get to in a bit anyway. But what this does mean, another good thing too, is if you are a Mythic Plus player, you now get access to the super cool shiny thing.
Yep.
As well, right? And I guess similar for the PvPers. So overall, this is really good. It would also be nice if this was a retroactive thing that could happen for other expansions, because actually this should be possible for all of the Shadowlands sets.
Should be.
No, they all exist. I don't know if additional work would be needed to make them fit all characters.
Yeah,
there's things there that maybe we just don't know. But I mean, I think Wowhead was able to preview on all characters, so technical stuff. Yeah. Who knows how it works?
Yeah, that's a fun thing. It's like what Wowhead can do is very different to what Blizzard can do, because they extract all the data and rebuild it in some other capacity, because they have very talented people working there.
Very different like environments as well.